This time on whatever we want, we talk about
Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Spoilers, major, huge, big spoilers ahead. There are time codes down in the description if you'd like to jump around to different points. In the episode, we talk everything from Ironheart to Chadwick Boseman in our spoiler review of the film. Enjoy! Welcome back to Whatever You Want, where we review content across all mediums and media, movies, TV shows, video games, and beyond to give you the most interesting behind-the-scenes inside storytelling techniques, all that jazz, and more.
We cover everything from Disney, Pixar, DC, Marvel, and more. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Pre-banter time, Daniel, and I'm not doing my usual
I was gonna say, you didn't do your
we have some serious, it's kind of sad because the first thing I want to talk about is
I know, yes.
Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. So he voiced Batman in pretty much everything that Batman's voiced in.
He's such an iconic voice actor, and just a great person in general. He was not only giving it for when he came to the character, but also to his community as well with things that he would do. Just sad to have such a legend go.
Yeah, pretty young, 66. My TikTok was so weird yesterday. It was filled with RIP Kevin Conroy and Pokemon, Ash, congratulations on becoming world champion. It's very drastically different. But
wait, did he just now get world champion?
Yeah, you haven't seen it?
No.
Yeah, apparently,
he's finally the very best.
The episode just aired where, he officially, beat the number one guy and, was crowned world champion of Pokemon, since, he started in, 1990, whatever.
How old is he in verse at this point?
I think he's still, the same age.
So,
he's still, a kid.
He did it in a year.
Yeah. I don't know. But, yeah, I think that was pretty cool. I got to watch some clips of it. If you do get around to watching it, there's some pretty hype clips. It's him and Pikachu at the end they're doing it against Charizard. It's really cool. And then the third thing on my TikTok thing was have you seen this Koopa trend that's going around?
Yes, dude. Oh my god, some of it gets so dark. There's this one I saw where it's when a man's yelling at his wife, but then the Koopas or something.
Yeah, I saw that too.
He's in the car. He's and
for people that don't know what we're talking about, there's a trend where in the Mario games, the Koopa Troopers, anytime that song goes bop bop, they turn to and face and dance at the camera. So no matter what they're doing. So it's funny because people are putting Koopas in this trend in crazy situations, in the middle of a divorce hearing, and there's someone figuring out they're losing custody of the kids, oh my gosh, no, bop bop, they get all happy for a second and then just go right back to being
the president trying to determine whether or not to retaliate with nukes after Russia does something, and it's just bop, bop.
I saw one, it's someone delivering a baby and just is holding it and then drops it bop, bop. So my TikTok's been all over the place.
It's been funny because I've been sending you some TikToks recently, and you're dude, we have the same TikTok.
Yeah, I literally watched a TikTok and that was pretty funny, and then Daniel sends it to me 10 minutes later. I'm what? Okay. Also, some more news on Saturday. So today when we're recording this, but Saturday when this goes out, last Saturday, did you see that Lucasfilm just dropped out of the blue a short film?
No, I think I heard of it, but
it's a collaboration with Studio Ghibli, who did what's it called, Spirited Away. They're a very famous anime studio, and they did just release, I watched it last night, released at midnight. It's just it's a hand-drawn short on Grogu, on Baby Yoda, just kind of dancing around with some dust bunnies. It's pretty cute. It was kind of out of left field. I felt they just announced it on Friday, and then Saturday.
Did you watch the whole thing already? How long was it?
Yeah, it's 3 minutes. It's just
it's only
quick.
3 minutes.
Yeah, it's super quick, and it was very cute, Studio Ghibli style. I'm hoping that opens the door to a future collaboration with them, maybe for something else.
That would be dope. That would be totally sweet.
Yeah,
it could be a feeler, hey, let's do this short, quick, and see how people feel about it.
Yeah,
and if they like it, then
they did not announce it at all. You know what? I feel there's two extremes to Lucasfilm. They either announce a million films 3 to 5 years in advance that never get made,
or they just drop it,
or they just drop something. We have this. It's yeah. They've been sitting in their TikTok drafts. They just have this. We've been sitting on this. Might as well just drop it. What's today? The 12th? Okay.
Oh man.
That's interesting. Also, speaking of Star Wars news, the Acolyte started filming this past week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is that one. I am super excited about that one. That's the most hype one that I am excited for. But the official synopsis also dropped. So the Acolyte, here, I'm just going to read it. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. A former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated.
Sounds juicy.
The mystery thriller aspect sounds pretty cool to me. I don't know if we've seen that much in Star Wars.
Yeah, I like different angles with that. That's one thing I like about, again, like the Star Wars universe, right? Like, compared to something else like even like Marvel in some cases. Like with Star Wars, it's a universe where you're able to have all the. It's just a different place. Yeah, and you can have all these different genres kind of fit in with that place. Whereas with Marvel, its main thing is like, hey, we have superheroes, so you have to stick to that in some way or form.
Right. And on Earth.
Yeah, on Earth, or even...
It's cool because in Star Wars, you can just be like, well, I want to have something take place on this kind of environment. Let's just make a new planet.
Let's make it... Or even like that one time with Mando, he's like, oh, let's just make a giant, like, Halo ring, you know? And have them, like, go there, you know? Like, it's crazy.
To be fair, Marvel has done that a little bit. Yeah, in space with Guardians. Like, let's just make this giant face a planet nowhere.
Yeah. But no, like, the most, like...
But they're kind of restricted by the comics also.
Yeah, the most distant thing I think we've gone would be Werewolf by Night, which also was great.
I did finally watch that. I did finally watch that. Yeah, spoilers for Werewolf by Night, potentially, for the next few minutes. But I really liked it, dude, honestly. It was, again, in the Halloween vibe.
Yeah, it was perfect timing, perfect vibe. And
Swamp Thing looked great.
That was different. Oh, dude, I love that.
Yeah, I hope they do more kind of stuff like that. My roommate was saying it kind of reminds him of like Marvel one-shot stuff that it used to do back in the day. So maybe they'll do more of that if the streaming numbers are good. All right, we've rambled enough. You ready to jump into the main segment?
Yes,
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. What do you think, dude?
Okay, it was long. I did not know how long it was. Also, I should say this.
I agree.
I did not see the end credit scenes.
What?
And I have reasons for this. I'm not going to say why for the public. Just know I was in a different situation this time. That's all I'm going to say.
There was only one.
Don't spoil it.
I'm just saying I'm just telling you there was just one, and it was at the halfway point, so you could have stayed. So we can't talk about the post credits.
Nope.
Whoa, wait, I'm trying to remember what happened in the post credits. Oh, dude, it was so big. Are you kidding me?
Seriously?
Oh,
I'll be seeing it again tomorrow. But I'm sorry. It was a situational thing.
Okay, fine. We'll talk about other things that happened in there.
Like the rest of the 3-hour movie.
True. Yeah, it was 2 hours 41 minutes.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It was very long. It was very quiet at times too. Surprisingly, like it wasn't like all action. It was like there were a lot of moments to where it was just focused on like the relationships of the characters.
Yes. There were like moments of silence, like the opening logo with Chadwick Boseman, like the tribute to in the very beginning. Like usually they play like I like the audio they usually link with the logo, but this time the silence felt very fair and just like fitting and honored him. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to say with this as like a final note before we continue. Is know me where I'm always like you got to give a story it's just this amount of time. Like for example, like think about like Morbius and how that kind of like felt really quick in the third act and how things are kind of just like rushed. Yeah. And this did kind of the opposite to where it gave it a good amount of time, even though it was long and at times it was kind of, I don't know, slow, maybe a little bit too slow for me. Okay. It still gave the story its justice. I think it was a really good one. Not as good as the first Black Panther, but it was still pretty good.
I agree. Yeah, my overall thoughts before we dive deep into it, I thought it was a great movie. I liked it a lot. Like you said, not as good as the first one in my opinion. I wasn't really sure going into this, like how they were gonna deal with the situation with like Chadwick Boseman passing. I wasn't sure if like they were gonna make like a new central character. Like it was kind of Shuri. It was Shuri, but like for the first half, it was kind of also the Queen for the first part. So I thought that was interesting how they approached that situation. It was long. Like it definitely was very long, like 2 hours 41 minutes. And it kind of, even with it being long, like it kind of got busy in the third act. Like, I want to get into that a little bit, but Shuri went down like a dark path also that I was not like expecting, and it was just a story about like grief and mourning, which I like related to a lot and thought was well done. That's my overall kind of impression.
I also kind of want to say this: the way that Marvel's been doing this a lot more recently with having women characters really have highlights and be like the leads when it comes to a lot of the films recently. I feel like this film has done that. Honestly, probably the best out of all of Marvel. Yeah, because it didn't do it in a way that was like I'm thinking about like
the scene in
Endgame where it's like
Endgame, when
it's like all cheesy and they're together. And it's forced,
She's not
right?
alone.
Like that's forced.
Yeah. Like I completely agree.
This gave each character not only their proper development into how like things happened after his passing, but also just like with how these characters are connected and relating to each other. And like like you and I, like we say like, hey brother, like hey, we're chill. They're like, "Hey, sister, yeah," in the lab the one time. I'm like that was just straight up.
Yeah.
It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't forced.
Do you like their like camaraderie kind of?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
It was written well because the
felt
characters
real.
were. Yes,
Which
exactly.
which is good and I imagine tough. Like Ryan Coogler's director of this, so he's obviously like a male, but I think he did a good job showcasing that. But I'm gonna go through and kind of talk about each member of the cast and our opinions on some of their moments and beats. But first, I just want to talk some overall highlights. The budget of this was $250 million, which is freaking an insane amount of money. It's $50 million more than the first Black Panther. And then Ryan Coogler again directed, and I think he does a great job of kind of like instilling like a different cultural perspective into these films, because I feel like Hollywood can often be like kind of whitewashed, honestly. And I know we say that coming from a place of being white males, so like we're sometimes often the audience that's being like appealed to. So I don't know, I did enjoy this. But let's go through and talk about the cast. So I kind of want to just mention Chadwick Boseman. I know he wasn't like in the cast because like he has passed before this filmed. But how do you think they dealt with like his loss in the movie and everything?
I think they not only gave him his justice for in universe, but also in reality to how they were portraying his loss. It's kind of crazy, the emotional parallels there.
Yeah, for real.
But with that, they did it very respectfully, and they did it right, and it was really nice seeing that they were putting that effort in to do it right. Yeah,
it's cool. I think we mentioned this before in an earlier episode when this news was dropped, but apparently during filming they left slot 1 of the call sheet blank for Chadwick. So like everyone was like, he was definitely there like in spirit. So I thought that was very nice. But so and then let's talk about I guess like Shuri next. She's like the main character in this, and kind of like she launches off from the loss of her brother and like her path that she goes down. What do you think of her in this film?
I think seeing her grow was good, but I feel like it was kind of rushed at the end. Not gonna lie. Really? And when I say that, like when she got to the point to where she had to take action right after her mother's passing,
when she like made the Black Panther thing.
Yeah, so then she had to go make the herb, which she didn't even believe in, like, the astral plane and all that, but she still wanted to have its power just at the end of the day, so that way she could take revenge. She was in place of revenge, right? And then at the end she had the Killmonger thing, and then at the
that
end,
was sick.
That was sick. That was dope.
I was not expecting that at all.
That was sweet. But then, like, the flashback when she's right about to like do it, like take him out, and then it's like, will you be like me and get your business taken care of? You're gonna be like a brother and be noble. And like,
you think she flipped too quick? Like, because she was like I said earlier, she was down like a dark path. Like I was not expecting that, and I thought like she had fully the intention to like kill Namor. And so you think that she?
I feel like she should have maimed him more. I feel like she would have maimed him more and like then let him live. I know people were like, "Oh, Daniel," but she burned his entire back with like 3rd-degree burns from that engine. I'm pretty sure he's got a healing factor like crazy, considering he's practically a god. So, and with how they're doing it in here, so
you wanted him beat up more. Okay, that's fair.
If he lost a leg, that would have been dope. It was cool when she did clip him though.
Yeah, that was the freaking like sound effect with that. I like winced in my theater. I was like, oh my gosh. I think Shuri's giving Thor a run for his money for who has lost the most in the MCU in like the shortest period of time. Like, wow, she like. With the Queen and Chadwick and her dad, like that's crazy. What do you think of her like taking up the mantle of Black Panther? I wasn't sure if they were gonna do it, honestly.
I think she got way too acrobatic way quick.
Yes, I literally have that as like my only nitpick. Like I really like this movie, but like if I'm nitpicking, she seemed like crazy acrobatic.
She instantly knew how to do flips and like
because like I know the herb gives her power and everything, but like she, especially because this whole movie has been like she's against tradition. She's only like stays in her lab and does science. So like she
wouldn't have that combat prowess.
Obviously has been training to do the combat and everything. Her strengths are like with the technology, which I do like that they implemented like her sonic gloves in there. But like all the flips and stuff, like I was like, how do you have the knowledge and ability to like do that? Like it's such a nitpick. But I was just like, would she know how to do that? Like,
I feel like it would have been better if she was more of a I feel like she's doing like way more flips than even T'Challa.
Yeah, know? I know.
And I'm like, that doesn't.
It's probably because her body type lends itself to look like she would be able to do that. So maybe they took that and ran with it when they were choreographing it. But yeah, I don't know if her character like was based in that.
What I would have done is had her lean in to her technology. So like she already has the beads that's able, and we've seen the beads do like other things with other vehicles and stuff like that, like cloak them, take them over. Like it'd be cool if she was able to do stuff like that, but like have it affect the vibranium, which they already have of the Atlantean armor. Like that would make so much more sense.
That bracelet is such a cool like prop that like as the actor I would like definitely take that home and just like
dude, I wear that all the time.
Because that's just because like I feel like Iron Man's helmet is also like cool, but like you can't like wear that around. But like these beads are like that's like a good memento from the movie. But freaking Michael B. Jordan, dude, like I'm trying to whisper because I don't think my roommates have seen the movie yet.
Dude, out of nowhere, it was really cool to see. And also kind of cool is just to see that he actually did make it to
the astral plane.
Yeah, which is kind of, so does that mean he's like redeemed in a way?
I don't know. He was in the astral plane, but it was like on fire. The throne
so like, so are there different aspects of like, or different parts of the astral plane then? And like, she was brought there because once she was a believer.
Like T'Challa and like his dad are like in that cool little field, and they just look over and see like the palace on fire.
Yeah, they look over and see a fire.
They're like, I'm not gonna deal with that. Yeah, I don't know. I thought he did a great job. Like he had a great performance, even though he was only in for one scene. Yeah, dude. I'm really glad they brought him back. I was not expecting that, and it was like not overbearing at all either. Yeah, and I also just like the that question that brings up like how similar are they, and like they kind of are similar in the regards that like they don't believe in the tradition and everything. So that was cool. All right, what about Namor? How do you say it?
I say Namor.
Namor. Okay.
People always said like Namor. I guess Namor's fine. I remember this one time. I think I was at a con or something. I heard somebody say Namor, and some other like nerd like snapped at him. He's like, "That's not how you say it." And I'm like,
"Oh, I do like how they like explain like what his name meant."
I think that's kind of cheesy, honestly.
Oh, really? Like without love?
Yeah. I don't know what the original origins are. If that was like the original origins of his name in the comics, I'd be like, okay, I get it. But like, it just seems so cheesy. The one without love. Because I'm a Spaniard that's enslaving the local Mexican people, burned down where we're doing this, killed all my white friends, and now he's burying his mom. I don't know what's happening, but he has no love. Like, okay. Like, he has this whole tribe with him still.
So did you not think he was a good villain?
No, I thought his villain he's great. Great as a villain. Perfectly portrayed.
Like, just his origin.
Literally
maybe?
Just the naming was just that whole little thing was. I think that was kind of cheesy.
Namor.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
I thought he was a good villain. He had really good motivation. I feel like it's easy to fall into like the trope again. Like Marvel often has like not the best bad guys, and this one I really like. They walked us through his motivation, and I understood it a lot. And like I feel like he had such a better like villain motivation that I resonated with compared to like Thor 2, like the elf guy or whatever.
Another reason I'm also happy with them is that he didn't die. This wasn't like another Marvel film to where they're like, oh, there's this one villain that shows up, now we're gonna kill him off instantly. That's still my biggest gripe with Ultron. They needed to keep Ultron around some way, shape, or form.
Maybe he is in the web, in Vision.
Could be.
I don't know. White Vision will come back, will return. What do you think of his design, Namor's design with the winged feet and everything?
I honestly think it was on point. And it makes sense too. He said it himself that he's a mutant, which is on point. And I like how they went into like his weak. I like how they made him vulnerable in the sense of like if he doesn't have water.
Yeah, he was so strong.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the water people, which I think was good. Yeah.
It was nice to see that they. I'm not even sure if that's a thing in the comics, but like that was a nice way to like make a vulnerability out of their situation. So I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I think it was cool that like because they set up and have set up for all of the MCU that like Wakanda's like this elite tribe of warriors. So like who's gonna be their like foes? And I think they introduced the water tribe, whatever, as like really a strong force to be reckoned with. Set that up really well.
Who plays? I forget his name. And he's technically Man-Ape, but they're not calling him Man-Ape. Is M'Baku or something like that?
Yeah, M'Baku. Yeah,
M'Baku. Dude, I loved him so much in this film.
Yeah,
so much.
I really liked him. I thought it was interesting. He kind of played like almost two characters, it felt like, to me.
He's almost like filling in for the role of the big brother at times. But then other times, like he was just like...
the comic relief.
Yeah, it's like this. I loved when they had like that one council meeting in like the chair room. And then like somebody gave a counterpoint and out of nowhere he's just like... Oh, oh, oh!
Yeah.
It's just monkey noises.
Yeah,
and
I
all
did like
his boys backed him up. Oh,
when
dude,
when I was like in the moment, when like, because I feel like the first half he was like very much just like the comic relief totally, and I was like, man, I hope they don't like diminish his character to just that. And then like as soon as the mom, the queen, died, like he flipped to just be like this voice of reason for Shuri and like this like you said, big brother role. And in the moment I was like, whoa, like that seems a little drastic shift from like the comic relief to that, but it also like makes sense like when that like horrible event happens where you lose someone,
like he's gonna straighten up.
Yeah, he's gonna like like you said, straighten up and be there for Shuri. So I guess that does make more sense. I was just like, man, like I don't know, I really did like M'Baku too, like when he got freaking punched through the chest in that slow-mo shot. I thought so too. Yeah, I like that actor. But yeah, sorry, back to Namor. I thought they did a really good job of when he's like moving through the air and like bouncing off
the way he's pivoting,
because I feel like it's really easy. It would be really easy to make him like look all floaty, because like there's not really like a real world example of like a human jumping around through the air with winged feet, like as like the base point, the anchor point. So I think that could have been easy for the VFX to like make it look really floaty and like not realistic, but I thought they did a good job of like making him like he kind of was almost like pushing off of air, even though he like wasn't really. I thought that was like really cool, that anticipation.
Well, it was nice because his core movement was like with his hips technically, and then he was moving his feet to like you said, to like kick off of things, right? It's nice to see that they thought about the dynamic there. Yeah, because if you don't, it will just look cheesy, and it looked really good.
What do you think of the like underwater city and everything?
Shell City. Yeah. What do they call it? Talachon?
Sure, something like that. Atlantis Light. I don't know.
Well, it technically is Atlantis, but they're not calling it that. But no, I thought the design was really cool. It's really tough to think about in certain aspects, because you have to think about like how would you design a city to where you have all three dimensions for freedom, right? Because that's like really what you have vertical, when you're in water.
Yeah. I would have to like go back and like rewatch and like really look at that, because I wasn't looking specifically for that when I was watching it. But yeah, I don't know. That was pretty cool. Maybe we'll see that again. They set it up. I like the cavern that like most of the underwater stuff took place in, like the underwater cave where like Shuri and Ironheart were in.
I also think it's funny that he's like, oh yeah, we have suits that you can borrow. And it's the same suits that they killed.
That you just random American dude. That like, suit like took it out. Like it's just such a clunky suit. Like it was so funny because it was like this beautiful scene of like, oh, we're gonna see Namor like swimming elegantly through like that current and then into this beautiful city, and then there's Shuri just like Lego man like in the
exactly.
I was like, wow.
The Atlanteans being blue made me think of just Atlantis. Or not Atlantis, made me think of
Avatar.
I got stuck with the A's. Made me think of Avatar. I was like, oh yeah, these blue people near the water.
Yeah, I wonder, like, I'm going to compare Aquaman 2 when it comes out, Avatar 2, and Black Panther 2, and see who had the best sequel of underwaterness.
I wonder if that's becoming a trend now. Like, hey, let's just get in the water, change things up, you know?
Maybe. I want to talk briefly about Queen Ramonda. I thought the actress played Grief very well.
Yes.
I felt bad. What'd you think of her stripping away Okoye's rank?
It was rough, but it was justified.
Yeah, I definitely like understood why she did it, but like I just felt so bad. Like Okoye has dedicated everything to Wakanda. It was
also great when what's her name? Nakia?
The other warrior?
The one that was in Haiti.
Yeah, Nakia was that one.
The one that went and got Shuri out.
Yeah, that was Nakia.
It was really nice seeing that when they got back together, because in essence, right, she was thankful. She was thanking her because she reclaimed her honor. She righted her wrong of her losing Shuri. Yeah. So
that was a very nice moment.
It's nice to see a moment there like that too.
Yeah. What'd you think of their like suits at the end? Like Midnight Suns, or what did they call it? I don't even know.
That's the thing. It's not. It was like Midnight Talons.
Midnight Angels, something.
Midnight Angels.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Charlie's Angels, Shuri's Angels. It was just like so much. Like we had Ironheart flying around, Black Panther doing flips with Namor in the desert, and then M'Baku had some moments, and then these two girls with the warrior like new blue suits. I was like, why do we have like 3 Iron Man suits going on right here? Like it was just like, and we're on this ship. Like I kind of wish the third act was in Wakanda. I love that like mini skirmish they had in Wakanda, because like Wakanda's like a beautiful place and a cool setting. It was a cool setting for the battle, and also I felt so much like more tense because it was happening on their home turf. Like if the third act battle happened in Wakanda, maybe they didn't want to tread again on the first Black Panther, but like it was just in this middle of the ocean nowhere. I was like, come on. Like I feel like the stakes weren't as high as they could have been. It still was good, but yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Here's what I think they should have done different, because they just had a giant Wakandan ironclad. That's all it was. You know, it wasn't even a submarine. I'm just straight up. It was an ironclad. That's what it was. Like, okay, I feel like that they should have had
a vibranium clad. I'm proud of that one.
A vibroclad. But no, what they should have done is at the very least have some kind of like Wakandan helicarrier or something to get them away from the water.
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
Yeah, they were like, we're gonna go to their home turf. Like that seems dumb. Like,
yeah,
why wouldn't you do this again in the desert? Like, I don't know.
I feel like a lot more planning could have happened in like where they're gonna attack. Like for example, Nakia was able to get in, so Wakandans have a way in now. What they could have done, use like the sun that Namor made as a hostage, because it seemed like they were gonna do that.
Take the sun as hostage.
Well, he had that like artificial sun down there, right?
Yeah.
And he was talking about, he's like, I was able to bring the sun to my people.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
But you know what I mean? I feel like that would have kind of made more sense, too.
What if Doc Ock came from the other universe again and stole this artificial sun?
He's got an arc reactor now, and then it's like, another one.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Oh, we should have been in the meeting room.
But you know, I feel like that would have made more sense in a way.
Wait, what if that was the sun that sank in Spider-Man, and Namor turned it into this artificial sun?
He's like, I stabilized the fusion reaction.
Yeah,
with vibranium.
Dude, that's my headcanon now. Even those different universes. I don't care.
If it's a fusion reactor, you could make a theory that like it jumped to another universe. I don't know, somehow.
Yeah, that's what happened. So. All right, what did you think? We've talked about her a little bit. I want to dive deep into Ironheart, Riri Williams. What do you think of her? I ask you as soon as you eat something.
Yeah, sorry. I know I usually don't eat on the podcast.
No, it's good. So the actress's name is Dominique Thorne. She is a 25-year-old actress, but she's playing the 19-year-old Riri Williams.
I think she did an amazing job.
Yeah.
I like how they also introduced her by like saying like there's this American scientist that made the vibranium finder, and that she did it as like a midterm project.
Yeah. That was cool. Yeah. So in the comics, like Riri is like an MIT student that's just like a genius and kind of designs like on her own just this Iron Man-esque suit, which we do see the first iteration of. I really like it's just from a story overall perspective. I think it would have been really easy. Like I think when you're introducing a new character like this, I think it's tough to find the balance between like you want to make sure you showcase the personality of this new character and like that fans start to get to know the person and like so they can fall in love with them, but also don't make it so overbearing that it like is overpowering the main focus of the story that's happening. And I think they wove Riri's character into this story well enough. Like they walked that line very well. Like I didn't feel like she was overbearing. They were like, hey, look at this new character, but I also feel like I got to know her well. And I liked how they handled that.
Same. Again, like just going back to the root of how they introduced her. Like she was being hunted, so you got to save her. You know, they got her out of there. And she's super smart, so then it was like, hey, she's not the highlight when the first battle happened in Wakanda. She was able to regroup and then work with Shuri and get everything like from there on for the final battle. I feel like I agree with you. I think it was really well done with just the moments that they were using her and like how she was implemented to the story.
One thing, my nitpick, this is not with her, it's with MIT / the production design. Her dorm was freaking giant. Like, what the heck? Like, is that like MIT dorms in general? Or like, did I just go to the wrong college? Like Penn State, I'm sporting you now, but like, bro, my dorm, my first year was like a third of that size. And she had a personal bathroom in her dorm. Like, what? Like, I was flabbergasted when they were taking the whole scene in her room. I was like barely focusing on what was being said. I was just like, how is her dorm so big?
You have this nitpick. This reminds me of the meme where it was like, I got paid $300. You got paid $300. I got only paid $60. And I was like, you guys get paid?
You guys got paid, yeah.
For her, it's like, I have a room with its own personal bathroom. You're like, my dorm's only this big. What are you talking about? And I'm like, you had dorms for college? Because my school didn't have dorms because we're in the heart of Lancaster. So there's like no place for that, right? So we're just chilling.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if like MIT actually has those giant dorms, or if
I wouldn't be surprised. They can afford it.
Marvel and Hollywood's just romanticizing going to college for some, I don't know. I did like the whole time the chase through Boston was a very cool scene. I thought again, Okoye using her spear like in creative ways to like ramp the cars.
Yeah.
That was sick.
The one thing I do not like is when Riri like took the car and there's all the cops there and like have the line and he's just like, I got a surprise for you. Is she like, what, did all the cops just know that she was there and run away? Or did she just straight up murder them all because of that one big explosion to clear out the bridge? I think
she murdered them.
Maybe. Like, what the hell?
I don't know. I really liked her character. I liked, again, the chase through Boston. I went to Boston earlier this year, so it was cool. I was like, hey, I was there. Very cool.
What do you think of Ross coming back?
Oh, that is cool. I did like Ross coming back. Again, another good outlet for comic relief. And I feel like they're setting some stuff up for future things. I like how they revealed he's married to Val. I didn't know that.
Dude, I was like...
That shocked me.
When she like made the joke like, oh yeah, I'll come over and check your pelican. I'm like, is there something going on here?
Yeah.
And then she said that one last line like before they changed the shot where she's like, yeah, there are some things I said while we were married. Our marriage. Yeah, or something like that. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Bilbo, my guy.
I saw someone post where I saw a funny post today where it was like the only like some of the only white actors in Black Panther were Martin Freeman and Andy Serkis, like in the last one. Someone said they're Tolkien white guys. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Haha, Tolkien.
Yes.
All right. But first I want to mention that I think it's really cool Martin Freeman again is like a character for comic relief because he's kind of outside of all the action, doesn't really know what's happening, so he's not really like super like mourning the loss of Chadwick like a year later, or sorry, of T'Challa a year later. So I like how that he was able to like bring in some comedic moments to this story that's very heavy about like grief and loss and everything. But I've seen some people criticizing online that like people are upset at Marvel like setting up future projects with like the Val inclusion and the Ironheart inclusion. I like disagree with that because I feel like they did it. It wasn't in an overbearing way. And also, I feel like that's why a lot of people fell in love with the MCU in the first place, was because it's these series of like interconnected stories. And that's like so cool and has like never been done before. Yeah, I really like that. Like people criticize often when like Shield or the Avengers don't show up to like world-ending events. They're like, well, where was Iron Man during Captain America 2? Like, why wasn't he around? And like now they're getting upset that like, well, how come they're including all these interconnected characters? Like, there's too many. Like,
you know, like, yeah, like what the heck?
What? You can't have it both ways.
You can't pick and choose. Well, yeah. I don't know. I think it was done well. I think it was. It's not like I see what they mean like, oh, these things stuff up, but like that's all part of it. Like, it's a universe. Things are going on. Even if it wasn't like... That's something I actually think would be fun to see sometime. I don't know if it'd be like a successful project, but it'd be like the MCU now or something like that. And like you just hop to different points of things that are happening in the universe. It could be stuff relative to the heroes we already know, or it could be stuff happening like literally in nowhere with like Guardians of the Galaxy stuff.
Like we just be like, all right, the year is like 2027, whatever the year is in the MCU. Let's just jump around to all of our characters to see what they're up to, like in this moment.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know.
It could be like it kind of be like you know, like Thor, where he had like this roommate.
You could have funny moments where like Star-Lord's just like taking a dump or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like it'd be like that, and then it'd be somebody else like in a serious situation. Like, but then like, and then that could then set up another movie.
Captain America just on the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The lies were true, or the rumors were true.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to quickly mention that was all the characters I kind of wanted to run through. Do you have any other characters before we talk about more plot things and future predictions and stuff?
No, I think we covered most of the main ones.
Okay, so I think the music in this was awesome. Ludwig Göransson is his name, according to Google. So I freaking loved his score, dude. He won the Oscar for Black Panther's score in the first one. Do you think this has potential to like either be nominated or like win the Oscar for score again?
I think it's gonna be nominated. I don't know if it's gonna.
You don't think they'll give it to him twice?
I think the first one's scoring was still better.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this was just still good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It's not having the same amount of impact. You know what I mean? If anything, I would say the most would be at the moments, which is where they should be, was when she met Killmonger, and that's her plane, and then also at the end when she was like.
I thought the funeral score at the very beginning was very, very good, very powerful.
Oh yeah, that too. That was also really good. That was just setting the tone. Yeah.
He also, I when I was watching that score or the Studio Ghibli short film that they did for Star Wars, I was watching the credits. He did the score for that too. He's like really busy. Yeah, so I thought it was cool.
I'm pretty sure he's also doing Andor, isn't he?
I don't know. He did The Mandalorian. Sorry, I'm blowing my nose.
I could have swore I saw his name when I saw last episode of Andor.
Are you up to date with Andor?
Yeah, I believe so. The last one was Prison Break, right?
No, it's Nicholas Britell has done the score for Andor. I really liked the score in Black Panther Wakanda Forever though. Do you think anything else? Do you think Black Panther Wakanda Forever will be nominated for like Oscars and win anything? Because it was nominated and won a few for the first one.
I wouldn't be surprised. Here's my thing, Jake. You know this for me. I don't give a fuck about rewards or awards or
what if
any
you
of that
won an
bullshit.
Oscar?
I wouldn't care.
Bro,
it's a piece of metal.
I would hold it like Ash held the Pokemon trophy.
Because here's my thing, right? At the end of the day, I care about the art and whether or not it's done right.
Yeah, but that's like other artists recognizing your art.
Yeah, but like,
well,
I don't know.
We'll see.
For me, it would be like, are people going out enjoying the movie? And if they are, that's all that matters. That's what matters to me.
That's true. George Lucas has never won an Academy Award, but like he's touched the lives of millions, so I feel like that's verifying for him. You said this, you didn't think this was as good as the first one. Do you think we'll get a Black Panther 3? And like, what do you think's next for all these characters?
I think we will, depending on how the situation goes with whether or not we're gonna do like a Young Avengers or New Avengers line. I feel like we'd get something like that first, and then we'd get into potentially a Black Panther 3 after that. But within that, I feel like, say, like a Young or New Avengers, it'd be like Shuri as a Black Panther in that group.
I think Shuri definitely still has a lot of room for growth.
Yes.
To go from like coming from a place of vengeance to becoming more of like a leader and putting the learning to balance like traditions and also her people and but also her love for technology.
Not just being in her lab.
Yeah, so I think it'd be really interesting to see Shuri's arc as a leader and how she brings in this new age of what's it called? Like Wakanda prosperity, hopefully, as the new leader. I think though, because once news leaks of the Queen being killed, they're going to think the outside world that's already been trying to get vibranium is going to be like, oh, there's a power vacuum in Wakanda. So they're going to try to invade maybe more intentionally. And that might force what Namor wants. And Shuri will have to go for him. And they might have to attack the overworld, like the top side, like the rest of the world. You never know, though. Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah, that's my prediction.
Yeah. It's not going to happen like that.
How do you know? Bro, that's my prediction. Just undermine my prediction. Thanks, bro.
Here's why I'm saying this, right? Because here's the way you want to do it, or the way that should be done, is they need to find Antarctic vibranium.
Okay. That could be a way.
But do you know what that canonically does?
No.
So Antarctic vibranium acts as like a counter chemical to vibranium. So where vibranium's usually able to like take vibrations, if it comes in contact with Antarctic vibranium, it becomes brittle and breaks.
Okay, well, we could combine our ideas. Maybe the rest of the world, someone stumbles upon that, and then they use that as a chance in the power vacuum to go attack Wakanda.
That's how it would be.
Well, then why did you say that? You were like, you basically were like, your idea is shit, and then we're like, I'm doing my new idea. What? It was just like an extension of my idea. You frustrate me sometimes, Daniel.
I just like playing with you sometimes. I gotta play with you a little bit, you know?
Well, you might not want to play with me because I could spoil the end credit scene for you.
We'll talk about it after I see it again, okay?
Taking a look at this movie, just overall, my final thoughts, I thought it was a great movie. I think I'm a little Marveled / superheroed out, and I might be getting some fatigue just because I'm working on the projects now, but also I'm wondering like if it's, one, because I'm working on some projects, or like have worked on projects in the past, or if it's because like I get super excited when like I've worked on one of these and I get to go see that and be like, oh yeah, I worked on that. And these ones that I didn't work on, like I didn't work on this one, maybe I'm like, I don't have that level of hype anymore.
Energy for that.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of seems selfish, but like I don't know just how I'm feeling.
I mean, it makes sense naturally. Like again, like you have your own stuff you're putting out there. You have pride in that. You want to make sure it's good.
Yeah, I think Ludwig might win or get nominated for another Oscar for this. I watched an interview with like his behind the scenes like process, and he like went to Africa for like the first film. I don't know if he did for the second one. I haven't seen anything come out about that, but just like learned a lot about like the cultural history of it to try to be culturally accurate. So I think that was cool. But speaking of Ludwig,
for the longest time, I always thought, you know that one streamer Ludwig?
You thought he was the scorer?
I thought that was the same Ludwig. And I was like, oh man, he's really doing a lot. And I'm like, oh wait, no, it's not the same. Because Ludwig's, it's not a common name to me, you know?
Isn't Beethoven's name Ludwig?
So
Ludwig von Beethoven?
Maybe it is, actually. Isn't it?
Yeah, Ludwig.
Or was it
Ludwig von Beethoven was his name. All right, but speaking of Ludwig, did you know that Ludwig Göransson, the Oscar-winning composer of the new Black Panther movie, produced many of Childish Gambino's songs?
Really?
Yeah, so before he composed the iconic scores for projects like The Mandalorian, Black Panther, and Creed, Ludwig got one of his big breaks by scoring the show Community back in the day. And Community was also one of Donald Glover's breakout roles.
It all loops back.
And the two got close over the course of filming. Yeah, dude, I love Community. Ludwig went over to Donald Glover's studio one day to chill, and then Donald started playing around on the drums, and they kind of worked with it and eventually created Redbone. It then started like a long-lasting relationship, and in 2019 their song This Is America and Ludwig's score for Black Panther both won Grammys. So talk about range, dude. He's doing a lot.
That's called talent.
Yeah,
He's got it.
all right, ready for the next segment, the draft.
Yeah.
So we're doing animation studios. So I go first today.
Yes.
I already wrecked you last time with May the 4th.
You demolished me with that, dude. That broke my heart, my spirit, my soul.
All right, so my first pick, I'm going to do Pixar. Like, you have to. You have to.
Fuck you.
What do you think I was going to choose?
All right. I'm honestly going to say DreamWorks. And the reason I'm saying this is for Shrek and all the stuff we talked about last time.
That was not even in my top 5.
Really?
I'm picking Disney because not only do I get like the animated films, I get the TV shows like Gravity Falls, Phineas and Ferb, Kim Possible, bro.
Oh, I didn't think about Kim Possible.
Yeah.
I was thinking only films.
Dude, I said animation studios.
That's a good pick. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, and here's another thing too. People are gonna hate me for this, but I'm not a big like anime guy or anything like that. I'm mostly American.
Yeah, no, this is just animation studios. Like, I feel like if we wanted to do like an anime studio, maybe we could have done that. But yeah,
I'm stuck between.
I hope you don't choose the one I want next.
Sony Animation Studios, and the reason for that is for Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that was close on my list for the top because of Spider-Verse. What else do you get with Sony?
The Emoji Movie. And Meet the Marshalls.
You get the highest of the highs
and the lowest of the low.
Wait, Meet the Marshalls? What?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It was
the
a pretty cool
Mitchells?
movie.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I loved the Meet the Mitchells. That was good, or whatever it was. You also get Clive with a Chance of Meatballs, though. That's good.
Yeah. Yes! I forgot Sony did that, too.
Choosing Lucasfilm Animation. Lucasfilm, because you get the Clone Wars, baby, and Rebels, Tales of the Jedi, Bad Batch.
I was just thinking that was all wrapped under. Oh my god, I forgot that they had their own specified like animation. This is tough. Are they even a studio? Can we say studios aren't even around anymore? Can we say that?
Sure. There are a ton of studios.
I'm gonna say Blue Sky. Yeah.
Okay, so you got your Ice Ages in there.
Yeah.
Quality
classics.
Well, you chose a studio that's not around anymore. I'm choosing one that hasn't produced anything yet, but I'm so confident in their ability. This might be like a wild card pick. I'm choosing Avatar Studios. So it's a new studio that was formed by the original creators of the Avatar: The Last Airbender series.
Okay.
And they are producing films. It was actually just confirmed, I think, that the first one comes out October 10th, 2025. The first film in their series of films coming out. So yeah, I'm going to take that. Avatar Studios, dude.
Oh wait, I haven't even thought about this. Just Cartoon Network Studios. All the Cartoon Network shows and all that. Like, yeah.
That was on my list. I was hoping you wouldn't remember that. It's a quality pick. Codename Kids Next Door. Well, that's
what were your favorite ones from Cartoon Network?
Kids Next Door was good.
I liked all the like weird ones, like
Ed
Flapjack. And like, that's a classic. But like, I like Flapjack Chowder, like that kind of era stuff too.
You got Ben
10.
Fudge.
Yeah. Oh man,
bro.
Imagine if we did like
wait, there's a Thomas the Tank Engine show on Cartoon Network. Dang it. Sorry, what were you saying?
Dude, imagine if we did this where you have your list, we have my list from this, right? And we have all the characters from all the the different shows or movies and stuff, they have like battle each other. That would be epic.
Yeah. I will choose. All right, I have a question. Does Avatar Studios, does that include the earlier Avatar stuff, or do I have to get Nickelodeon for that?
For this, I'll give it to you. I'm going to consider it Nickelodeon, even though it's not going to be, I think, classified in this case a publisher, but I'm going to consider it that in this case. So you have OG Avatar, which is a huge thing.
Cool. Then I'm going to choose Laika. I think that's how you pronounce it. They do stop motion, like Coraline, Kubo. All that like crazy, just for the craftsmanship.
That's a really good take. Yeah, no, like I love that kind of artwork because stop motion is like seriously great. Like think about how many times you can F something up by just nudging it the wrong way. If I was to do stop motion, I would have so much anxiety,
so much patience.
Yeah, dude, I'd be gone. You took specifically Lucasfilm, but you didn't take. Can we say ILM?
Do they do animation?
Yeah.
What do they do?
I don't know if they've done like a dedicated project.
That's what I'm like thinking. That's kind of like VFX though. I feel like I'm arguing that's going into VFX. I feel like we could do another draft of VFX studios though.
True.
That'd be cool actually. We should do that not next week because next week we're doing Thanksgiving dishes.
Do they do Rango?
That's what I just saw that. I don't know.
I swear that they've done movies. That's the thing. I know more recently they've been focusing a lot on like VR experiences and stuff.
Oh wait, yeah. Rango was ILM's first full-length feature animated film.
I'm going to go with ILM.
So you get Rango?
Just to say that I have ILM. To get Rango.
But plus you just get that ILM animation department. You just like are just looking through the window like longingly at all the like VFX things happening and you're like, but I have Rango. Okay, that's fair. I'm happy with my list. I got Pixar, Disney, Lucasfilm, Avatar Studios, Laika. And you got, I don't know the order of yours, but you got DreamWorks, Sony, Cartoon Network.
ILM and then what else?
ILM.
Oh, Blue Sky.
Oh, yeah, Blue Sky, yeah. Okay.
Blue Sky.
Yeah. All right, cool.
It's sad to see what happened to Blue Sky, man. Blue Sky was going off. And then I forget what happened. I think they were acquired by somebody. And then they Disney just were shut down.
All this stuff's on Disney Plus now.
That's right. Disney acquired them and then they
I have Blue Sky, dude. Just kidding. Ready to jump into patron shoutouts?
Yeah, jump into it.
Give Star Wars music. Boosh got Patron, Lori, Frank, Rick, Lisa, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much. Pleasure to hear. Thanks for the shout. If you like the sports from Patreon, link is down in the description. Get the audio episode early, special benefits, cool perks, a lot of jazz, and more. Thank you sincerely to our Patreon supporters. You ready for cool comments?
Yeah, what we got this time?
So Zach Henry on our DreamWorks episode said Kung Fu Panda is definitely my favorite DreamWorks franchise, and I can't wait for the fourth one. I completely agree. He also said, I also haven't seen the third How to Train Your Dragon for no reason at all, and I really need to watch it. I'm in the same boat, like I said last week.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Lighting and everything's amazing.
Yeah. All right. Right for the introduction.
Yeah, tell me when.
When?
We just talked about what we want to talk about, and now we're done.
Thank you so much for listening. We seriously, sincerely, really appreciate it. We'll be back next week for, I'm not entirely sure what, but we're going to be dressed in Thanksgiving gear, or at least I will be.
I'll go exchange the bunny costume.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.